Welcome back to I Did This Instead of Killing Myself, everyone. Stand-up comedy podcast in Astoria, New York. My name's David. It's the week of October 30th, 2023. Good weekend. Happy Halloween. I hope you got to go to some parties and everything and had a really fun time. The only sad thing this weekend was Matthew Perry died. Oh, very sad. Rest in peace, Matthew Perry. Really bummed me out. He's a big celebrity death, you know? He's like one of those guys that, like, you know, he so young. But then you realize, well, he's 54. And, yeah, it just makes you realize how time is flying by. I'll miss him because my favorite thing about Matthew Perry was the memes that came out about him. You know, when he was still alive. But, like, they'd have those paparazzi pictures of him coming out of his building just looking like a piece of crap, just hating his life. And it would say, when it hasn't been your day, week, month, or even your year. I'm Chandler Bing. Could I be any more pissed off? I've loved Chandler. I mean, I don't even like Friends that much, but he was like one of my favorite guys on there. So very sad. Very sad. But hopefully he's in a better place. But I don't know. The good thing is we have a very positive, fun, upbeat person on the interview today. Our guest today, the very funny Chester Jerrat. Chester Jerrat is a New Zealander. First time ever interviewing a New Zealander for the podcast. Chester and I met at a show here at QED in Astoria, the Leap of Faith show put on by Matt and I don't have their names in front of me. That's bad. Awesome dudes. Anyway, the great show. And yeah, he was visiting for a week, checking out the comedy scene here and doing some book shows. And Chester currently lives in Auckland, New Zealand, where he was born and raised. He did his first show when he was 15, but he's doing stand-up regularly for the last few years in his 20s. By day, he's a software engineer, and by night, he does stand-up. Today, Chester tells us what it's like living in New Zealand, what the comedy scene is there versus here. I didn't know anything about New Zealand culture. But yeah, the thing I generally think about when I think about people from Australia and New Zealand is like very chill people, very down-to-earth, kind, you know, nice, just laid back, just like cool dudes. Kind of like the, I don't know, like this is a bad example. I don't know if this is right, but like the sea turtles in Finding Nemo, you know those? Because they're like super chill, you know, and like just cool people you want to hang out with. That's what Chester's like, and very, very self-deprecating, very kind. And we actually, as part of it, we talked about Joe List. His favorite comedian is Joe List, and that's so great because he's my favorite comedian right now, who you need to check out. But if you know Joe List's style of comedy and you like that, you'll definitely like Chester. Very, very modest. In fact, he's so modest. Like, you need to follow his Instagram, but he's so modest, he doesn't even have pictures on his social media. The only picture I could find of him was his LinkedIn profile for his software stuff. So that's how you know it's a good person, like somebody who's not comfortable with self-promotion. You know? Like, he doesn't have to have a podcast or anything. He's a good person. So yeah, you should definitely follow him. What else did we talk about? We talked about some very funny stories of how we got taken advantage of by a New York City grifter selling fake CDs or real CDs. The Are You Jewish people in Times Square. There's people that ask you if you're Jewish and do a whole thing. Chester talks about it. Just the differences between, you know, what New Zealand is like. I asked a lot of questions about that because very interesting culture there. How it's an island really far off the coast of Australia, very far away. It's a small world over there. A bunch of other stuff too. So definitely follow him, check him out if you're ever at comedy clubs in Auckland. Keep an eye on him. I think he's a very funny guy with a long career ahead of him in comedy. All right. That's all I'll say about the intro. Not going to shout out the local South Carolina shows. But again, if you're from South Carolina, keep supporting those shows. Follow Greenville SC Comedy on Instagram. Check out where the shows are this week. Yeah. Hope you guys have a great week. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I was going to say this. My hair looks ridiculous in this interview. I don't know. You could definitely see the hair transplant. It looks weird. I'm aware of it, just so you know. It looks bad, but in the video, whatever. Fuck it though. You know, the chia pet's coming in slowly, but whatever. That's fine. It's fine. Chester didn't mind. All right. Well, anyway, I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you enjoyed my interview with Chester. Here it is. All right, here we go. Chester.
Hey. Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the show,
Thank you for
man.
having me
Yeah.
in your city, in your apartment.
Oh, this is not my city.
Well,
I'm not ready to claim New York.
you've been here 3 months, so that's like 3 months
months
longer than me.
Yes. And
It's
this is
your city now.
Right. It can be for
Yeah.
our purposes, I guess. And Chester, your real name, huh?
Yes. We were just talking
Yes.
about how I think I should change my name
Yeah.
for comedy. Because there's no real downside to it. I used to think it was like egotistical almost to change your name.
Right.
Because it felt like being like, I'm going to be so big, I'm going
Mhm.
to need a second identity to cover up my real life.
Yeah.
But it makes total sense because
No, it's just
I don't want people to like go to a show, see me say something and be like, fuck that guy, and then look me
Yeah.
up and it's like, oh, here's his wife and kids. Not that I have a wife and kids, but like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, and just message whoever or message my employer or,
exactly.
you know.
Yeah, it's protective.
And you got to do it when you're like younger or earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so now is the time to do it.
Yeah, I agree. When nobody knows, or who knows if they ever will. But I remember in my own, like in South Carolina where I started,
Yeah.
like I'd been doing it like 2 years, I think, and then
Uh-huh.
I realized all the people around me were not using their real name.
Oh, really? And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I'm the only idiot that's just
Yeah.
like
I
putting
was
my
like,
social security
exact
number out here.
spelling. Yeah. I was like, what the fuck? Why didn't I?
Yeah.
And I was like, one of the biggest sources of anxiety I ever had starting stand up was like, what is the family going to think? What are friends going to think? What are
Yeah.
coworkers going to think? I was like, you could just avoid that entirely. You could just start,
There's
I
a
mean, they'll
guy-
find out eventually, but like,
There's a guy in New Zealand, he was like a professor
mm-hmm.
and he used a different name. He used the same first name, fake last name.
Mm-hmm.
And then he did it for years. No one knew, I guess, because he was scared of like his students coming in and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then one time we were like in the green room of like an open mic. So just the one table,
room.
the
Yeah.
table, not a green room, it's like the table in the back of the bar.
Yeah.
And then he just goes like, he goes white, like sheet white.
Uh-huh.
And we're like, what's going on? And he's like 8 of my students just walked in. He was like, I'm leaving. Bye-bye, everybody. But I think he did the gig, and he's like, well, I'm done with stand-up
So
now.
his students discovered him and then showed up to a gig.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? I feel like, because you have a job and everything. Does your employer know you do stand-up?
My colleagues know I do stand-up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with doing that. But I don't know, there's a weird thing of like, in stand-up, you kind of... Not that I'm like a racy comedian in any way,
No.
but I'm not a clean comedian necessarily. So I still
Sure.
could say something that they might not like, or like even just being associated with a certain
Yeah.
employer has
Mhm.
vibes
Yeah.
sometimes. So
Yeah.
I think because if you search me up, I bet the first thing that comes up is not like some cool stand-up stuff. I bet it's my LinkedIn with like Chester Jerrat is a
Right.
lame corporate employee.
Yeah,
Here's his
yeah,
jobs.
yeah,
Here's
yeah.
the
I
university
think
he
it'd be
went to,
similar.
the high school.
Similar for me. The LinkedIn might come up first.
Yeah. So that's kind of scary.
Yeah. I think it is kind of funny though that's the common reaction is to be nervous if your coworkers saw stand up. But it's it's interesting because I don't know. I kind of feel like stand up is more the real you than every day. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Maybe.
Maybe for you, it's different for everybody.
I think as you get more mature in stand-up, maybe that's true.
Yeah.
But especially when you're starting off, you're
Early
just like,
on.
let's try this, let's
Yeah.
try this, let's
Yeah.
try this. And so
That's
it's not
true.
necessarily who you really are. I think
Mhm.
it like trends to maybe, or it
Yeah.
should, for most people, trend to where you are as a person.
Mm-hmm. Or like you figure out who you are by doing it. That's the
true, that's true.
philosophical answer.
That's like I
That's
did stand-up when I was quite young.
Uh-huh.
And I was just, I didn't know who I was. I was just
Mhm.
like doing full-on impressions of other stand-up comedians.
Right. You were young? How
Well,
old
when I
were
was-
you when you started stand-up?
Well, I did one. Okay, this is kind of lame. I did one show when I was 15.
Hell
One,
yeah,
though.
dude.
Yeah.
Like Dave Chappelle over here. That's
Well,
that's the age.
it was like the New Zealand Comedy Festival ran this like program where they got high school kids to do stand up,
Uh-huh.
and so I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna do
Yeah.
that. But I did
Yeah.
like one gig and then stopped doing it, obviously until I was like way older.
Okay.
Um,
But it was like what was it? Like a high school contest or something?
wasn't a contest. It was just they got maybe like 10 kids from different high schools, and they got a bigger New Zealand stand-up comedian to like on the weekends tutor them on how to write jokes.
Okay.
And then you came up with like, I don't know, your 5-minute act, and then they did like a big show in the comedy festival that year.
Okay.
And because like the New Zealand Comedy Festival is a big thing. Like, that's kind of like the main thing in the New Zealand comedy scene is the festival. So we did like a show there.
Okay.
But it's all just like that's the thing. That was like parents and stuff there, which is the worst nightmare now.
Yeah.
I would hate to.
Yeah. Perform in front of your parents.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I had not done it for a long time. I don't know, have you...
You've what?
Have you performed in front of your parents?
Yeah. Twice. Actually, no, a couple of times. It's gone fine.
Yeah.
2 of the times. But one time in particular was horrible.
Like you bombed in front of your parents kind of thing?
Yeah, and it was...
Yeah, that's rough.
The thing that I was upset about was I didn't have control over what the gig was going to be. I didn't have knowledge of what the thing was. It was back in my hometown, and my dad set it up. And he said, "Oh, this is music open mic at a local university."
Oh, your dad set it up?
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I go this all the time. You know, we'll get you signed up. We'll get you 15 minutes."
Oh my god!
And
your dad is like the producer taking advantage of you.
Yeah, my dad was like, like an agent or something. Yeah. And nothing against my dad. I love, like, I'm happy he like set it up and wanted to like invite family members and like come to this thing. And I walk in, I'm like, "What is this?" Like, I don't know. I'll go up there, but like. And I was the first act to go. There was no other. And it was like a battle of the bands thing. And
oh, God. And then there's one stand-up comedian.
Right. So the people there didn't even know to expect comedy. And like I come up, I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" And they're like still at the bar getting drinks. It's a theater. So they're like all in the back. People are confused. Like, what are you?
Of course. Like, this guy sucks at singing. You know, you're supposed to like have melody.
Right. I think I opened with an abortion joke or something. Everybody's like, "Oh my God." And I was like, I don't know. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know if I don't think I apologized. But
yeah, that's
sorry. Yeah, long-winded way of saying yes, I have. Didn't go well. But it was good after that. I remember after that, I was like, that was the worst thing that could have ever happened to me. Now I feel very free on stage.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was like, it could possibly be any worse.
So I had a similar... I had a moment where I had like a bad... Well, no, this is almost worse in a way. So when I was 15, I did one gig. And then I must have like done a few more gigs. But like... I'm
did the
like,
15... Real quick, did that gig go well?
When you were
15?
Well, I think... Yeah, I mean, like, I remember... Yeah, it's the easiest crowd I've probably ever to date performed. It's all like parents and stuff, and they're like, "Woo, our stupid ass kids are performing for us."
Yeah.
But I do remember being disappointed with it though, because I felt like I remember in the class comedian, it was in the program thing. I felt like I was like, I think I got the best jokes. Like, this is pretty good. And then I went out and I was like, oh, I didn't do the best. Because I
feel that it was.
I think I was
the
worst performer probably, because I was just like so nervous. I was just like, hello, and so that was that's when I learned that, like, oh, I have to learn to not be nervous, I guess. So yeah, I think, but it's probably the easiest crowd ever. And so after that, maybe when I was like 17 or something, maybe 16, 17, I would have for a year done like a gig a month type thing, like just nothing, at the comedy club, like the open mics at the comedy club, like barely doing it.
A gig a month?
Yeah.
That's not nothing, though.
It's not nothing.
You still have continuity, I think.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is I probably did like 8 gigs, you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
When I was 17. And so when I was 17, 16, 17, I did 8 gigs. And one day I was sitting there in the green room, like, I was looking over the crowd, and I saw someone that looked a lot like my high school chemistry teacher. And I was like, oh no.
Was it
oh
him?
God.
Or her?
It was her. Well, I wasn't sure. So I remember like the whole time just like staring at her like, oh my God, no way.
That's all you're thinking about before you're going on?
Because I remember when I was 16, 17, like the jokes I had were about like high school.
Right.
Which is so lame. Because imagine
you got to talk about what you know.
I got to talk, and in my mind I was like, oh, it'd be fun for like the adults to hear about
the life of a high school.
The life of a high school. Yeah. I'm sure it was not. I'm sure it's just like everyone was just like, okay, get this kid out of here.
I'd be interested.
Maybe. I'm gonna do my high school stuff again. Get back to high school.
Bring it back. As if you're still in high school. Tell it the same.
Yeah. So then but I remember, I couldn't tell from the side. I just couldn't tell if it was her or not until I went on stage and I saw her go like that, like put her head down, and I was like, oh my god, it's her. This was my high school chemistry teacher. And I think I brought it up even. It was like my first time deviating from my set because it's probably like gig 6 or something of my entire comedy.
So you acknowledged her in the crowd?
I think it's been. I mean, it was ages ago. I think I did, and in my mind, I was like. In my mind, I got a big pop, and I was like, "Oh, this is great." And then I remember like the next gig being like, "I'm gonna bring it up again and like get the same pop," and everyone's just like, "We don't give a fuck."
Oh, wait, she wasn't there the second.
She wasn't there the second time.
Yeah, she got to be there. I guess.
Yeah. I remember that being embarrassing. Then I remember thinking like, "Oh my god, is she gonna bring it up at school tomorrow or whatever?" Yeah. I don't remember if she. I've got a terrible memory.
Yeah, that's still fucks.
I'll try and remember what.
Like if you see somebody specific in the crowd, like isn't that funny how you can just fixate on that?
That's the problem with doing comedy in New Zealand. Is it's such a small country.
Right.
There's like 1 million people in Auckland. And I went to a big high school, went to a big university.
Yeah, we talked about this the other day, and I'll say this in the intro and everything, but you're born and raised in New Zealand. Yeah,
my entire life.
And never lived anywhere else aside from
never lived anywhere else.
Visiting places.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, because we were learning, and we met at a show at QED. First of all, so that was really cool.
It was a cool show. Yeah.
Great. It was awesome, and but yeah, I was surprised to hear that. I don't know a lot about New Zealand. I had neighbors from New Zealand.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the first things you mentioned. How it's kind of a small world there.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people, or a lot, but like it's not uncommon to know people, or for a few degrees of separation. Know basically everyone on the island.
You know so many people, and so it's pretty. Like I remember I went through a run where I ran a show, and I didn't run it through my name or anything. Like I just run the show, and almost every single show, someone I knew from high school, university would show up.
Wow,
like this sucks.
Yeah,
because every show you're like, oh my god.
Yeah. How many cities are there in New Zealand? Like big-ish cities with a comedy scene.
Probably like 0. No.
Auckland is the city, right?
Yeah, Auckland is
that
Auckland,
the big one?
Yeah, and then Christchurch is the second biggest city, and then there's like Wellington, Dunedin. There's a handful of cities. But so Auckland's like, I think they say it's 1.5 million, but they're being very, very kind with the city limits. They're being like, we're taking it's like if they went. It's like if they took New York State for the population of New York. That's the kind of vibe.
Okay.
So I think it's really like 1 million people. And then there's maybe Christchurch, which is maybe like 500,000 or 600,000, I don't know. Then Wellington, which is 300,000, something like that. So not big. There's I think 5 million people total. I thought it was 4, but 5 million people total in New Zealand.
New Zealand. Okay.
So it's a pretty small place.
Yeah. And how many comedy clubs are there?
There's 2 comedy clubs.
In the whole island?
In the whole island. There's one in Auckland and one in Christchurch. And the one in Christchurch is very new. It's like a couple years old. So for ages, it was just one in Auckland.
Yeah. So I bet all the comics know each other. Or know of each other.
No, everybody.
Yeah.
And I remember I was saying how Matt, the producer of the show that we met at, he was saying, we had another New Zealander on the show a few months ago. And I was like, that's crazy. And I just knew as soon as he said the name, I would know him.
Yeah, and you knew the person?
And I know the person, yeah.
Dude, yeah.
That's how few people there are.
I'm trying to think of the equivalent of like in America. Would it be like a state? New Zealand is like a state, a large state. Like
I don't know. 'Cause how many people are in a state? I guess it varies a lot. Like California and stuff have so many people within.
I mean, yeah. Not one of the massive states, probably. One of the medium-sized states. Like
yeah, I guess so. Like the difference, I think, is though that in a state, like I went to Seattle. And the thing I know, I don't know if this is true. Like there are some, I'm sure there's some really great Seattle comedians. And there's some like people who are full time in Seattle.
Right.
But I bet, and I don't know what the population of Washington State is, but it's maybe.
Damn it! I should have brought my computer in here. Do you have your phone?
I do. I can check. It doesn't matter though, right? But it's like we can look it up. But I bet it's maybe say it's similar to. Say if it was similar to New Zealand, what happens in New Zealand is Washington State. I can't just type in. I have to type in population, of course. I know how to Google things.
Yeah.
Okay, 7.7 million
in Washington State.
So much more than in New Zealand. But
That's crazy.
But I would be willing to bet that there are more full-time comedians or people who make who like do comedy as their main thing, or maybe it's TV or writing or whatever, in New Zealand compared to Washington State by far.
Yeah.
Because if you're a comedian who's getting good and it's starting to get buzz or whatever in Washington State, you're probably going to be like, oh, let's jump to LA or maybe New York or even somewhere like that.
Yeah.
Whereas in New Zealand, you go to Australia maybe, but that's not necessarily what you're going to do.
Yeah, you kind of stay where you're at.
Because you've got to go to another country.
It's an island. It's a true island nation. Yeah. Like, that was one of the things, like, before we started, I looked at a map and realized how stupid I am. I didn't realize how far away New Zealand is from the coast of Australia. In my mind,
like,
it was like, yeah, you could see it from the shore. Or like, yeah,
it's like Manhattan to Brooklyn and Queens.
Right. But you're how many hours of a flight from Australia?
3.5 hours.
3.5 hours
from coast to coast.
That's fucking crazy. You guys are out there.
Yeah. Although I think it's further to go from one side of Australia to another than it is to go to New Zealand. So like from Sydney to Perth, it's probably further than Sydney to Auckland.
But still, Australia is enormous.
Enormous. Yeah.
So like, you guys are very isolated. Which is interesting to me, because it's so different fundamentally, just like geographically how isolated y'all are. So
it means we have our own scene. Very like it's
like you guys are committed to New Zealand. It's not like you can.
People leave, but we don't like when they leave. No, people leave a little bit, but they barely leave. You know? And so there's comedians who've been in New Zealand for 25 years doing comedy, and so that's different to, I would imagine, somewhere like Washington. There probably is that, but less of that.
Yeah.
Most of them will go somewhere else.
Well, it's kind of nice though. I mean, apart from comedy too, what is it like living on an island? You know, that's like big enough to, you know, with beautiful. Like the other thing I think of in New Zealand is Lord of the Rings. Like beautiful.
Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Yeah.
That's our big thing.
Mount Doom, all that shit.
Mount Doom. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Because it's almost like living on another planet because you're like separate from. What does the average New Zealander spend a lot of time away from New Zealand throughout the year to block off times to vacation, or do you say holiday?
Thank you for translating. Yeah, I didn't get a vacation.
No, I wanted to
tricky.
I go to the States, go to Europe, go to Australia. Do they, or does the average New Zealander kind of stay put on the island?
I mean, I think a lot of people just stay there most of the year. I would imagine that we probably, like, New Zealanders would travel overseas more than, say, someone in America, just because in America you have so many more domestic locations. You know, you can go to. It's like America's like a continent, you know. So there's so many more places you can go locally and feel like you're in a different place. Whereas New Zealand, you know, you can go somewhere else in New Zealand, but if you want to go somewhere for lots of different things, you have to go overseas, you know. So a lot of New Zealanders are going over to Australia and stuff. I think the Australians hate how many New Zealanders are in Australia.
Do they?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Dude, that's so funny.
Because New Zealanders love to shit on Australia, but
they have what?
Like, there's a big hate, like a big thing. Excuse me, New Zealand versus Australia is a big, contentious, like, it's like we're brothers but we hate each other kind of thing.
Does that play out in sports? Is there sports
big
rivalries?
Big time. I remember like every dad, like every like 50-year-old dad drinking beer watching sports has the joke of like, I support two teams, you know, New Zealand and any team playing Australia. That's the vibe. Like that's the vibe. But I think it's just surface level. I think realistically, Australia and New Zealand are very like, we're pretty tight.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Yeah. But maybe it's, I don't know, is it Canada and America, similar rivalry?
I don't think most Americans spend a lot of time thinking about Canada.
Okay, yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
Canadians are crying right now.
I'm kind of a dick, though. I mean, I'd be one of the people that'd be like, I mean, they don't seem particularly, I don't know.
It's like that thing where you have
I've never been, except for going to Windsor. It's just across the bridge from Detroit. Yeah. We went when we were 18 or 19, and the drinking age there is 19.
Oh, so
we'd go across the bridge to the casino, and we'd drink and party and come back. But I've never... Yeah. I don't know. Maybe there is a rivalry. I don't know. I guess we're pretty similar.
Is it that thing that Canada thinks is a rivalry, but America's like, what?
I never think about you at all. Like,
yeah, it's like the thing of like this, like the high schools. I remember I went to a big high school, and there was this other high school that was like close but down the road, and it was much smaller. I remember at college meeting a guy from that high school and being like, "Oh, like we were big rivals." And I was like, "What the fuck? I don't even think about your college." And they were like, "Oh, you're our big rivals," and it's like, We wrecked you at everything, man.
Yeah.
That maybe is the vibe.
Yeah.
They think they're in the league, but they're not. I don't know. I don't know anything about Canada.
I mean, they're
against
still
Canada,
like a wealthy, developed Western nation. It's not like
Yeah.
they're not, but
I
nothing really happens there. I mean, you know what? In a way, I kind of envied Canada because it seems a little more chill. Although, I guess they've had some bad current events recently, like the trucker strike or whatever was happening.
I have no idea about Canadian politics. But the thing that I found interesting is in America, people are like, I'm American, fuck Canada. But as soon as they come to New Zealand, every American is like, I'm a bit Canadian. Because there's like, I don't know, I think a lot of people, when Americans travel, they love to pretend to be Canadians, I've noticed.
Do they?
Yeah, and Canadians get real mad if you call them American.
Oh, I would never claim Canadian citizenship in New Zealand. But you see that?
I see that a lot.
A lot of Americans.
But I wonder if it's like the people...
Is it like they're embarrassed?
Yeah, I don't know.
About the global perception of Americans?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not really from that.
I think that's what it is. They're embarrassed. But it's kind of like... I kind of want to tell them, like, it doesn't... No one's really...
Yeah.
I don't think people might make a joke about it, but like no one really is like...
Yeah.
Thinking that much about America that they're going to be like... Like if you blame every American for something you're mad at about America, it's like,
yeah,
what the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm meeting one human, and I'm going to associate all of.
But I think it's in the head.
What stereotypes are there of like Americans to New Zealanders?
Well, the big thing that this is the big thing I noticed when I came to America is I was always told in New Zealand, or like the stereotype maybe was that like New Zealanders, we're so chill and friendly and relaxed and we love everybody.
Yeah.
But Americans are so fake. They're so fake. That's the thing that people say, right? But I think that comes from truth, but it's wrong. What it really is, Americans, the fakeness is just friendliness. They're being nice and polite, and New Zealanders can't handle that level of like niceties.
Really?
We don't do the niceties as much, I think.
Okay.
And so we think it's like it's so fake, but it's like it's just being nice.
Yeah.
Americans are way more like, hey man, how's it going?
Yeah.
And we're like,
yeah.
And what we do is we just like chill, and we don't. Someone would come up to us and we're just like it's not we're assholes.
Yeah.
The chillness is just.
You just be like, don't bother me.
Don't bother me. Get
else.
No, it's not that. It's like I think New Zealanders. I bet New Zealanders on average are much more introverted than Americans.
Okay.
Much more like quiet than Americans, much more embarrassed constantly than Americans.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so I think we have internalized that as we're so nice and lovely. We will leave you alone. There's no like you wouldn't find an aggressive person. Like
we're
no
not loud and obnoxious.
Yeah, like someone gives you the wrong thing at a shop, and in New Zealand they're just like, well, whatever. Maybe I'll get this little exciting different thing. But in America they'll be like, hey, fuck you, buddy.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. That's the difference, I think. Americans maybe will get more mad at stuff, but on the flip side, I found them at least, they're very nice. They're very like, they'll say hi to you. You can have conversations just randomly with them.
Yeah.
I mean, conversations randomly in New York is pretty crazy. People think you're crazy, but...
Yeah. If you have a conversation with a stranger in New York? Yeah, that doesn't happen as much.
And you're not in a bar
It's hard. I mean, you got to vet if people are crazy or not. And, you know, it's kind of risky.
Oh, I had because we hung out, 2 days ago?
Sunday night?
Sunday night,
2 nights ago. Yeah.
And since then I watched a show at NBC, and afterwards I bought something in the gift shop, and so I had the NBC bag in time, like around Times Square.
Yeah, you're like a tourist.
They were just like, oh, this guy is gonna give us some money for everything. So I had everybody coming up to me.
Oh, fuck.
And I had the CD guys.
Yeah.
I know about the CD guys. So I was like, I know, do not take the CD. But I was like standing there with my phone like this, and he just chucked this. He put the CD between my phone and my hand. And
actually,
he's like,
I don't really know the CD guy thing.
Oh, so
I had a guy try to give me a CD near Times Square once, and I think I was like, "Oh, cool, dude," and then he like expected me to pay him for it.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
"Bro,
the
you
scam.
can take it back."
Oh, you just said that, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "No, I don't want it," and then he took it back. I was like, I kind of wanted to listen to it to see if it was any good.
Yeah,
but
so what happened to me? Yeah, so I knew going into it, they give you the CD, they sign it, and they say it's a free CD, but as soon as you take it and they sign it, so there's like a marker on it. They're like, oh. Like give me a tip, right? And so I was like, nah, man. But then they were the first Americans to recognize the New Zealand accent.
Okay.
And they said, oh, you're from New Zealand? And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
How do you know? And then in my head, as soon as I said, how do you know? I was like, why did I? I should have just been a New Yorker, looked angry, and ran away.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they knew they had like little bits they were doing because I guess they see people from all the different countries.
Right.
So they were like, because I was kind of being like, nah, go away, man, whatever. And they were like, New Zealand, why are you treating me like this? Like, why are you treating me like an Australian? They knew the beef. They knew the rivalry.
They knew that.
And they were like, and I was like, so it kind of took me aback. They're so good. It was like 4 guys that were so good into it. They gave it to me.
They're trained to recognize it, maybe because New Zealanders are more prone to being taken in by these scams.
Maybe, yeah.
Because
they saw New Zealand.
Nicer.
Well, because we hate confrontation. I guess.
Confrontation.
So I guess that's what happened. And so then they wrote to my New Zealand friend, and he gave it to me, and I was like, oh, nah, man. And I was like, oh, I got him. I was like, I don't have any US cash. And he's like, it's okay. And pulls out a card reader, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm so screwed.
They're getting
And so then I was like, well, and then I was like, okay. Then I said, okay, I lied. And I just put out like $3. And I was like, I was going to give him, and I told all my friends at home about this experience. And I was like, I didn't give him any money. But really, I gave him $3.
You gave him money?
Because I know, I'm an idiot.
God damn it,
I know. And this is the first time I've told anybody, because I told all my friends back home. I was like, I just walked away like a real man. But really, I gave him $3, and this is the most annoying thing. The guy was like, "Oh man, like normally we try and get like $20 to $40 off this," and I was like, "I'm not giving you $20."
Yeah.
And I was almost like, "Give me the fucking money back." But then they were like, and then they were like, "Okay, we'll take it." And they're like, "But you mind if I get the CD back?" And I was like, this guy, and he took the CD back, rubbed my name off it so it wasn't permanent, and then just walked away. And I was like, well, I'm an idiot.
Wait, you gave him $3 and he took the CD back?
Yeah, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing.
Chester.
I know. This is embarrassing.
Dude, no, it's not bad. It's endearing. That's honest.
It was $2. I think it was $2.
Dude, same thing would have happened to me.
Yeah,
same thing.
But I loved it. I told all my friends back home. I was like, I told them I just ran away and I was cool.
Are your friends going to watch this?
I hope probably not. Surely not. Yeah. Pretty embarrassing.
Interesting.
And then I had Are You a Jew guys? I didn't know about that thing.
Yeah, Are You a Jew?
They keep coming to me, they're like, are you a Jew? And I was just like, are you a Jew?
Yeah. What are those guys? Because I say no to them.
Yeah. Eventually I was like, I want to see what's going on. And so I said, yes. And then they were like, oh, have you wrapped tefillin, which is the thing where you like wrap your hand thingy? And I was like, nah. And they're like, let's do it together. And I was like, okay. And then, I was like,
wrapped your hand?
They do this thing where you like, it's called tefillin or something, and then they like wrap this rope around you, and they put this thing on you, and you wear like a yarmulke, and it's like you're supposed to do it once a day or something. I think I don't really know anything about it, but anyway, I did that with these guys, and they like made me do like a little prayer and stuff, and they started talking to me about all the Israel Palestine stuff, and I was like, oh man, I don't know, man. Yeah. I'm just chilling in New Zealand. So I was just like, ha ha ha, yeah, and then we did the thing.
Did they ask for money?
So at some point, I was literally wrapped like from arm to arm with this thing, just being like, "Oh my god, it's CDs all over again." But these guys have got me. They have got me. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to give them more than a couple of dollars. But in my head, I was like, I'm not giving them a cent. Like,
right.
But they didn't want any money.
You're not gonna be taken in by that.
They didn't want any money. It's just like they're trying to. I think they're just trying to,
just some honest Jews.
Yeah, get more Jews or whatever. I don't know what I think they're looking for. It's people who are Jewish but have like been disenfranchised from Judaism, so they're trying to be like, hey, come back in and like be one of us properly and practice again. Because I think they only say, are you a Jew, to people who look Jewish,
right?
Or like look like they could be Jewish.
They asked me, but we look Jewish?
No, I think it's just like you could be. It's not like you don't have to be like super Jewish looking, but you have to be like just enough. Yeah,
I don't even know what looking Jewish means. I mean, I guess I know all the like terrible stereotype jokes or whatever. Yeah. But like, there's Jewish people that like look. I don't know. I don't know, because Jerry Seinfeld's Jewish. I don't know. I just about. Is there anything particular about like I
mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyway, apparently that's how they do it. They're just like trying to find people who look.
So they're just like Jewish. The equivalent of like the Christian televangelists who are like trying to like, hey, have you heard about Christ? Like, you prayed recently, maybe not the annoying ones.
It made me like it more.
There's some that are like with signs like burn in hell, like you're repent now, the end is near. I don't like that kind of evangelist. Like there's some that are just handing out pamphlets.
Yeah. I thought this was cool. I liked it. It made me like more positive towards.
They seem nice.
Judaism, to be honest. It was like, it felt like very nice. They gave me a nice moment. They were like, like have a little silent prayer to like think about the importance of this moment.
That's very nice.
And they were like, oh, will you bar mitzvah? And I was like, nah. And they were like, okay, this is your bar mitzvah now. Then you're officially bar mitzvah. And I was like, okay, cool. So now, I guess
I wonder if I could talk to them. I'd be like, I'm not Jewish, but could you like talk to me? They'd be like,
yeah. Oh, that's the one thing.
Give me a blessing or
something. They really like check your lineage a little bit. No. You can totally lie. Just lie.
Oh.
Just lie.
Yeah, because you're not Jewish at all.
You just totally like.
So you lied to the.
You just be like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're good. And then, so I guess because they just have to keep saying that your mother's side is Jewish, and then you're good. Then you're a full.
Because they can't trace it then.
No. That's what Judaism is like, passed through the mother's.
Oh,
line.
I didn't know that.
So if your dad is 100% Jewish and your mum is 100%
Catholic or something.
Catholic, you're not a Jew at all. But if the other way around, full Jew.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah, it's
I'm learning a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, but anyway, you should try it out. It was kind of nice. I was like, this is a cool moment. The other thing I saw in that, it was a chess hustler. I'm bad at chess, but I was like, I kind of want to play this guy just to be like, that's a cool experience in New York.
Yeah.
But
so did he crush you?
No, he left before I got to him.
Oh, okay.
I was doing the thing. I saw him packing up. I'm like, oh boys, can we unwrap me? I need to go play that guy.
I
didn't do that.
So you didn't get to play a guy in chess.
Didn't play. Yeah.
Dude, you're knocking off some pretty good. You're checking some pretty good New York activities off.
Yeah. So that day I got scammed. Did the fill-in. And I dropped my earbud down a grate. So that's pretty much the peak New York experience.
You lost an AirPod down a grate?
Yeah, I know. So dumb. I was dropping off laundry, which also feels very New York. And then I walked outside and just like stumbled with my AirPod and my thing, and I just sort of bounced through people and just like
you saw it like slow motion go down the drain.
Such a moment. I was just like, wow. And I was like, maybe it like fell down to a subway station. I could go grab it. I look down, it's just like water, and I see it floating along, and I'm like, yep, okay. Well, I'm getting another one, I guess.
Yeah.
So I have one AirPod.
One AirPod. Yeah. You probably go to the Apple store, and maybe they'll replace it.
I got an Android one.
Oh, an Android?
Which is,
that's the thing I know. Fucked.
Yeah. That's the thing I noticed in America is you guys are like, we're a little elitist about iPhones, but it's a lot of people have Androids.
Yeah. Do you have an Android?
Yeah, I have an Android.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
That's talk to you anymore.
Yeah, that's just the vibe I've got from every American. I was like buddy with some guy in a bar, and then he was like, "Oh, you don't have an iPhone?" And I'm like, "Nah." And he's like, I was like, "Really, dude?"
He looks at you like, "Yeah, you're."
Yeah, and then also
you're less than.
People like are shitting on me majorly for the Android.
Oh.
I don't know.
My texts are green when I send them to you.
Yeah, it's kind of a thing in New Zealand, but like people don't really care. But here. Some people I met in Seattle, like some mates in Seattle, were like, "Oh, that's like a big deal."
Yeah.
Like,
I wonder what the pie chart is of Americans of like.
I think it's very
80-20 Apple to Android, maybe.
Yeah. So, and then the day I came here, actually, like as I was like 5 minutes before I took my Uber to the airport, I missed my pocket and dropped my phone on the ground. This is a common theme among stuff I've been doing recently. Yeah, I need to be more careful. Yeah. And I cracked my screen.
Oh shit.
Like kind of bad.
Okay, can I see it? Is it cracked?
Yeah, it's like you can't really speak.
Oh, it's not bad.
It's not too bad. It's definitely usable.
Yeah. I see now.
Yeah, you see it. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's I now can't multi-touch zoom, so I'm on maps like double tapping my way in and stuff.
You can't do this?
I can't do that anymore. Man. And so, but what that means though is, so when I left your place, it was pretty late, and I was a little bit nervous to take the subway back to Manhattan, where I'm staying. And
yeah, but how did that subway ride home go?
It was fine.
No sketchiness?
But you know what I realized?
What?
The cracked Android is like not worth robbing that guy. People should start having cracked Androids and just hold them, because it's like, oh, that guy's poor.
Just before you mug me.
It's like, I have a cracked Android. Like, you might get $2 off me, like the CD guys. Yeah. That's all you're getting.
Yeah, to find a way to display it.
Yeah, so it was fine. The one thing was, so I hopped on a carriage. I looked around. It was all like homeless people sleeping. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the next carriage, maybe.
The carriage?
Or like
is that compartment of a train?
Yeah. You guys don't call it carriage?
I might say, what would I say? Train car.
Okay.
That's what I would say. But I'm not the best example. Carriage. Yeah.
I feel like
I like comparing the different
words,
word choices.
So I hop in that one, all homeless people. I'm like, okay.
Wait, so you walk into this train carriage?
Train car. We can use your language.
Yeah.
Train car.
How many homeless people were in the?
Oh, like 6 or something, and they were all sleeping. And I was like, okay, this.
Were they sleeping like independently of each other?
Yeah, no one. They weren't hugging up together.
They weren't
there was no spoon,
no
spooning going on. No. These were.
Dude, I've never seen
single.
That.
Oh, really? Then I went on to the next carriage, and there was a couple homeless people sleeping.
Yeah.
But there was also able a group of like 4 drunk people, like drunk New Yorkers type thing. One of them was Irish.
Yeah.
This Irish guy was this Irish guy, and he was like using the full like Irish powers. Like I could tell he was like laying the accent on with this girl, and then he was also like she was like, "Oh my god, teach me how to like Irish dance." And he's like, "Okay." And he's like wasted on the train, like Irish dancing, falling over, and they're super loud, and so that wakes up the homeless guys. And the homeless guys getting. So I went on that train because I was like, I felt a little bit safer being around. I don't know. I found dangerous to be around the homeless people, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Although I think in retrospect, probably they just want to sleep, but they will leave you alone.
Yeah.
And so I went on the train with the drunk, like non-homeless people, and this guy like he was like doing Irish dancing. They were screaming and yelling and stuff, and the homeless guys like kind of woke up, and I could say they're looking at them like, these fucking like, shut the fuck, like I'm trying to sleep. Yeah. And then I was like, and then I felt like I became on the side of the homeless people. Yeah. I was like, like you're trying to sleep, I'm just trying to get home. Yeah. And so I felt like I was like, drunk Irish we were like looking. I was like. Because they don't know that I'm.
You were making eye contact with the homeless person.
The homeless guy, we were almost like rolling our eyes.
Solidarity.
Yeah, I was like, I'm
the Irish guy.
I'm with you. Yeah, we're like, fuck this Irish guy trying to get this girl.
That's interesting.
And she had that.
That was a special moment for that homeless guy.
Yeah,
because he like felt like a real person again. Because he's like.
Yeah, because homeless people aren't real people, you know. No, but I know. I nearly
felt included in society to judge someone else.
Yeah, and I felt like a cool moment as well. I was like, I'm part of this guy's.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding about the normal. I nearly called the. You know, I said I was like, I'm up with these 4 normal people. I was like, I guess they are. That's weird to say normal people. These homes people.
House people.
Yeah. But and then I felt like I had a solidarity moment with the homeless guys. And I got to the point where I was like,
he adds a little humanity.
This homeless guy, I feel like he was nearly like, shut the fuck up, like kind of vibe. But he was like, nah, can't be bothered. And then one of the girls was like a. She was one of. I've noticed there's a certain voice that some American girls in New York have. Maybe it's like the equivalent, like the New York voice. It's like this kind of like raspy voice, and it's so loud. Yeah, it's like you
can you do it?
I cannot do impressions at all, but it's like no, I can't. I'm not going to try it. It's so embarrassing to have. But it's such a loud. It was a really loud like voice from the chick. She was so loud.
Yeah, this was the girl that the Irish guy was trying to impress.
Yeah. Okay, and I'm like. Yeah, it was so, like the whole car was hearing this voice. Yeah. And I was like, no one in New Zealand is that loud. Yeah. It's like the average is normal, I think, but there's just some... I've noticed that there's a certain American New York female voice.
Does Alejandra have it?
Pardon?
The girl comic?
No. No one I've like talked to has had this voice.
Okay. But you've overheard it.
I just overheard it.
Loud.
It's like very loud, very raspy, like a smoker's voice almost. Like it comes from the chest.
Maybe it comes from the vaping.
Maybe it's the vaping voice. Yeah. Maybe, yeah.
You vape?
I do not vape, no.
Yeah, I quit 3 weeks ago.
Okay, yeah.
I had to for my hair transplant surgery.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Hard thing to quit.
Vaping?
Very hard. You've never done it?
No, I've never touched nicotine. Like, I never smoked. I've never touched it to my lips.
Man, that's impressive. Nicotine is addicting.
I think I just decided I was never going to be a... Yeah. Nicotine just seems so dangerous. Because I remember when I was younger, I was like, I'm never going to smoke. I'm never going to drink. Yeah. And then I started drinking. Yeah. And I was like, oh, it's pretty fun. Drinking is fun. I didn't. When you're young, you don't anticipate that. Like, oh, drinking is a fun thing to do.
It is very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I quit drinking.
Oh, really?
There's no fun anymore.
So no smoking, no vaping, no
smoking, vaping, or drinking.
That is sad.
Yeah. I mean, in fact, it is kind of like, you know, like I made a coffee for this interview because like I like caffeine.
That's your big
gives
drug.
Me a little something. Yeah, okay, one drug that I have left on me. So, vaping's huge here though. Like everybody vapes.
Same in New Zealand. Everyone vapes. So New Zealand has done this thing where, the government has smoking that they like being smoke free has been like a big goal for New Zealand, I guess. And so they've done this thing where at 20, and it's smoking is 18 plus. You need to be 18 years old to buy cigarettes, and they've said that from 2025 we're going to increase the age to 19, and then 2026 to 20. So if you turn 18 after 2025, I don't know the exact about that, you can never buy a cigarette in your entire life, and you're permanently banned from having cigarettes in New Zealand.
They're just going to keep upping it?
They keep upping it. So eventually it'll be 50 plus for cigarettes.
Wow.
So like in 2075.
So they're just phasing out cigarettes.
Yeah.
Dude, it's cool that New Zealand can just do laws like that. You know what I mean?
People were mad though.
Well, I'm sure they're mad. But like they could just do something kind of experimental because it's like you're like an island nation. So like, fuck it. We're just going to try this.
Yeah.
It's so hard to get consensus in the States on anything. That's why we're such a shit show. People just fight over stuff.
It's such a big country. Yeah. It's so crazy how big. This is a continent. And it's like it's crazy.
And we have federalism,
federal government.
So we have state governments. I mean, I do kind of like it. I like that there are red and blue states so that they can kind of check each other and like,
for sure.
If a state gets too far to the right, people would leave, or too far to the left and it gets shitty, people could go.
Yeah.
You know, like people started leaving LA and going to Austin, for example, because like it was getting real shitty in LA.
Right. But it's almost, it's cool, but it also feels like I can't see how you get anything done in America. It seems like a massive hassle to get anything done.
Define done. I mean,
true. I mean, it's working, so I guess it's working.
I mean, it's barely. We got problems.
Yeah, but everybody's got problems, and it's like, at least, I don't know.
Yeah.
You're alive.
What is the reputation of Americans abroad again? I mean, is it negative? Like the people that come to New Zealand are like, yeah, I'm from Canada. Actually, I'm not from America.
Yeah, no, I think I don't have a negative perception of Americans.
Is it like a lot of Trump stuff? A lot of like
maybe. I think there's a lot of people who are like, who hate that they're associated with Trump. I think
is there like is it like a dysfunctional reputation? Like America is like all over the place, or
no? I think the Trump thing is a big thing. People are like real embarrassed, and it was just like it used to be like. Bush
Americans are embarrassed. Oh yeah, it used to be Bush.
Bush announced Trump. They used to be embarrassed. They're embarrassed by their leader.
Yeah,
but it's like, I don't think people. If you, like who cares? No one cares overseas.
Yeah,
no one's really being like,
you
know.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So I think they just
we're like a big circus. It feels. Is that the thing? Is it? Do people care what's going on in America?
Yeah. American politics is definitely the most followed politics outside New Zealand politics in New Zealand.
Okay.
Because it's, but I also think it's just because it's the most interesting. Because the coolest stuff goes down here, gangster shit goes down here. Yeah, like this is the reality TV show. Like our version of politics sucks.
Yeah. Reality TV. That's a good.
Yeah, our politics
we
is so
literally
boring.
elected a reality TV star to be president.
Yeah, exactly. It's pretty hilarious over here.
Yeah.
So I think we follow American politics to some extent, different people, different amounts. But what we see is the crazy stuff only because we're interested in like the funny stuff.
Yeah.
We don't really care because here you might be like, okay, it's like what actually matters to me. But in New Zealand, we're like, we just want to see the wildest shit.
Right.
Like, let me see the guy like strip in Congress or whatever.
Yeah.
I want to see the crazy voting and the whatever.
Yeah, we're like attention whores over here. It's not good.
But it's kind of fun.
I would love, it is kind of fun. It is kind of fun. I was thinking about this today. I was just like, I wish, like, we got another election coming up, and I'm just so exhausted with, like, all of the drama. Like, shit's just constantly happening. Like, I want somebody to run on the platform of just, like, let's just chill the fuck out for a couple of years.
Right.
Let's just chill out. Let's just not do anything crazy.
Yeah, run on like this 4 years, just chillax.
Just chill out. We're staying home. We're just chilling. We're not gonna try and no wars, no crazy domestic shit. We're just gonna hunker down.
That'll be a cool platform for sure.
I don't even know what that means exactly.
It's like I'm the boring guy.
Yes, we're gonna be boring
because. Yeah, the exciting stuff is fun for a while. Maybe I feel like we need a boring 4 years just so that the next years seem more exciting as well.
Yeah,
because every term has gotten more crazy.
It's like you got to up the ante to get attention.
Yeah, so now I think we need to bring it back down, and then we can start going back up again.
Yeah,
that's a great idea.
But I don't even know how you pause it. I don't know how.
Yeah, you can't because you. Yeah,
and it feels like there's kind of like a recency bias too. Because I was thinking about this with like things seem crazy now, and they definitely are more crazy. But like. I remember, shit was crazy back in 2008, when the housing crisis and the global economy crashed. Yeah. And ISIS was a big thing when Obama was in office. Terrorism, shootings, and things. And then before that, you had Bush, 9/11, and the Iraq War, and that seemed insane. The last time it was kind of chill was the 90s. And
but maybe it's just because we were younger. Maybe it wasn't. Chill.
Yeah. Well, I think people still kind of recognize the 90s was pretty peaceful and prosperous, but
yeah. And I think there is definitely I think
and then it was the Monica Lewinsky thing was like the big news and the OJ.
Yeah.
Like if Monica and OJ are like the two biggest things in a decade.
That's nothing. That's nothing.
That's like tabloids.
That's like one day for someone in charge now. Like Biden or Trump could achieve that in one day.
Yeah.
That's easy.
It's like you're going to bring that out as a headline?
Yeah, that's nothing.
Even this Israel-Palestine stuff that's been going on, like that's horrific shit. But like my own threshold for stimulus is still high. Like I'm outraged, it's awful. But I had to like make myself say like that's awful. I was like, okay. another thing happened.
Because
that's batshit crazy.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That my brain, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like
it's true.
Like our stimulate, like we get stimulated so much that like I don't know what I'm saying. I guess, but like the outrage meter is like it would take a lot to surprise us now.
Sure, and I think a big thing is like the stuff that we watch is so reality TV-ized that like actual war, we're like, oh, that's too sad and boring. Let me see someone like, who's this president fucking, and who's
Taylor Swift dating?
Yeah,
Travis Kelce. Do you follow that?
No, not really.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Fucking goddamn it, Taylor Swift dating an NFL player was like the biggest story in America for like the last couple of weeks, and it's just irritating. But anyway, continue.
No, I was just saying that like that stuff that is interesting in politics is like, you won't believe what Trump is doing now, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so we don't really care about actual stuff.
For sure. I mean, with Trump out of there, it seems to be like there's been less headlines the last few years. Like,
but he's back
Biden
in the mix.
What's that?
He's back in the mix.
He's back in the mix.
He wants to be speaker now or something.
Yeah.
Or like secretly wants to be speaker.
Yeah, wants to be Speaker of the House. I don't think that'll happen, but.
Yeah, no, it won't. But it's just like that kind of stuff is fun.
And he's just winning the Republican primary and not showing up at debates. It's unbelievable.
Oh, really?
He's like he's like larger than the Republican Party almost.
He could have his own party and just be like, "That's me."
People still like him. I mean, I think he might. He could
totally win. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny is it's funny that you said like, "Oh, we got another election coming up."
Mm-hmm.
It's more than a year away.
Yeah.
So that's the thing that's so buzzy as a Kiwi, is we don't that. Like, we have our election, it's right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I'm going to vote.
Mm-hmm.
I'm planning on voting tomorrow in New York.
Yeah.
And I purposely I just wanted to vote in New York because like, that'd be pretty gangster to go into the consulate and be like,
Yeah.
I'm voting. I voted, and I'm going to go home.
You're voting in New York for the New Zealand election.
Yeah.
Oh, you can do that. Fuck yeah.
Yes, you can vote over, like, there's, like, you can vote for weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas America just does it for one day.
Right.
Which seems needlessly complicated, but more of a spectacle.
I suppose.
I don't know.
People,
the
Americans. Well, it took like a few weeks to get the votes counted last time, and then a lot of people were suspicious of the outcome because they're like, the more time people have to count the votes, the more fuckery could be going on with like counting ballots and stuff.
I guess so, but like the way we do it is we vote over weeks.
Yeah,
and so you just vote when you can, at your convenience.
Sure.
And
we have early voting too now. I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
But is it in person or can you send in a thing?
Both.
Okay.
Yep. And so. But we have our election like right now, and so like for the couple months before, there's buzz about it. But just a couple months, and realistically, it's not much. But it's great. It's more than a year away here, and it's still like here we go.
Yeah.
So you almost have no time of no.
There's a lot of hype. There's a lot of
no hype. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of shit that's gonna go down, and every year it's like that. And I want to be suspicious of it this time because like you can just get caught up in it and be like, "Yo, this is what's going on." I was like, "No, big shit's gonna happen this year." Like. And it's going to be like almost like it's engineered for us to like talk about. You know what I mean? It's almost like suspicious, the current events that crop up in an election year.
Right.
Like they
of course.
Like who's like wagging the dog kind of shit. Like I don't know. I don't have like any real data to back me up aside from just anecdotally looking back at history. But like, it's like, dude, there's going to be something crazy they want us to like fight over or talk just to get, get the clicks, get the activity.
U.S. elections are like a sitcom.
Yeah.
And they have to like, okay, time to give a character brain cancer.
Exactly.
Time
to bring in a love interest. Time to get.
So it's like, oh, ratings are dropping. Well, let's go. It's the big thing. And they
got to feed the media monster.
Get it going. Yeah. So it feels like very much like the American like elections are just set up to. It almost feels like they're making the money on eyes.
Yeah. Well, attention. It's the attention economy. It's something like that. How do you get people's attention? And that's why. Yeah, I feel like the Taylor Swift thing was like definitely engineered by someone. I don't know who, but like, because all of a sudden,
Wait, so what happened? People were mad about it? No.
No. It's just it attracted like everybody's attention. Everybody was talking about it all of a sudden because you had Taylor Swift, who in America or worldwide even, I don't know. You guys know about Taylor Swift, obviously.
I think
she's pretty big in New Zealand.
Yeah, she's huge.
Yeah,
she's huge.
So you have like one of the world's biggest pop stars.
Yeah,
and then she's dating one of the most prominent players in the NFL, and the NFL is one of the world's most popular leagues. And all of a sudden, you have all these girls who otherwise wouldn't be interested in the NFL
watching the
football, and following football, and then you have all these football people that are now commingled with the Taylor Swift people. And then, by the way, the guy she's dating is the latest spokesperson for the vaccine, which is another controversial topic. So now you've looped in a bunch of like political discussion around this. And then you have Aaron Rodgers, who's one of the biggest people or figures in the NFL who got injured. He's anti-vax. He's anti-vaccine, and he's commenting on it. And then you just see all the eyeballs go over here now. And I'm like, somebody's
I can't believe America
tons of money off
still
this.
cares about the vaccine.
Yeah, no.
I mean, maybe this...
It's still volatile. It's still a volatile topic.
New Zealand, people, there was like protests and stuff, but like, I feel like even now, everyone's like, okay, we did that. Let's forget about it. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like, it's crazy that it's still a thing. I've heard people talking about it. It's
not that
in America.
big of a thing, but people still fight over it.
Well, I've had multiple people in America ask me like, oh, in New Zealand, like they like held you down. Like they were like the vibe, like they held you down and take. No, they didn't. But the vibe, people have been asking like, oh, we wanted to go to New Zealand, but then we heard like what they did about the vaccine. It's like, what? What did we do? I don't even.
Was there a requirement or something?
No. I think if you were a doctor, you had to get it or something. Okay. But I think that might have been the same here, right?
Yeah.
So it's like we didn't.
Because I work in medical, they made me get it. If you go into hospitals and stuff, you had to get the vaccine.
If you work,
if you work in the hospital setting,
I don't know exactly what the rules were in New Zealand, but that they were telling me like, oh my god, it was so crazy. And I was like, it really was not so crazy. Yeah. I don't remember the exact rules, but we didn't. Mm-hmm. I didn't have to get the vac. You didn't have to get the vaccine.
Yeah. Did you get it?
Yeah. Yeah. But just, I mean, I didn't even think about it. It's like a vaccine. It's like, what
I got it. I mean, I don't know. I didn't like that they were forcing.
Why do I even feel like almost like weird? Just because I'm in America, I feel weird saying it. But like, of course, like it's a fucking vaccine. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I think it's. Here's why I think it's controversial in America. It's because amongst conservative circles and right wing circles, which I'm center right, or that's how I was raised. I'm definitely more centrist now, I think, but like whatever. But there's always like this "don't tread on me, fuck the government" kind of attitude. Right. And as soon as the words like anything, as soon as the word mandate comes out, or like you're telling me what to do, there's like a deep instinct in a lot of Americans that are like, "Fuck you! Don't tell me what to do. You can't take my guns. You can't. You can't force me to like inject something in my body. Fuck you." There's a big contingent in America that would be like, fuck you. It's kind of like what America started as. Yeah. It's like, fuck you, Great Britain. You're not going to tax us. Like,
yeah, I understand like people being like, don't, like, I want to make my own decision. And that's like, but I'm just saying like, I got the vaccine. Yeah. Like, why do I feel weird about
There's certain things that aren't that big a deal.
It's like, but
chances are it's not, but it's like, you know.
Well, most people in New Zealand got it just because. What? I don't know. Why wouldn't you? Yeah, it seems like the obvious thing to do. I've got a tetanus vaccine.
That's how I got it when I got it.
I can't believe we're talking about the fucking vaccine. I go to New York. I go to an American podcast.
I know, dude.
Like vaccine.
I remember when I got it early on. I didn't think it was controversial. I was like, I was excited. Neither. I was like, dude, this is gonna get us back to fucking normal.
I was like, I can do stand up again.
I want to go out to eat. Yeah. I would do stand up more. Like, this is just I want to go out to eat. Give me the fucking shot. I don't care.
I was like, oh, you guys are mad
it's a
about
reputable
this?
company, you know, whatever. Like, it'd be really hard to pull off a conspiracy with the vaccine, like, on a mass scale.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, this is actually designed to kill people or make people infertile.
Like a time bomb thing.
I could see it being financially kind of a little, corrupt incentives a little bit. Like,
yeah,
we could make bank off this shit.
I'm sure the worst people.
I don't think you try to kill people.
I'm sure the worst people in the world are making money off this.
Oh yeah,
but it's like, well,
there's a lot of money in healthcare.
The worst people in the world are making money off like my phone and everything else.
But it'd just be hard to coordinate something like that.
Yeah.
So like,
it's always the thing with conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
is some of them end up being true, but a lot of the ones, it's like there's no way.
They're kind of fun to talk about.
No one's that organized.
Like, yeah, I feel like it's more like, I don't know, conspiracies. I don't know. It's so hard to know. I feel like a lot of it's just based on incompetence and like bad shit that happens is like it's just messy and like I have a hard time thinking that there's like some grand group of people behind controlling everything.
Right.
There might be. Fuck, I don't know. But like,
Yeah, no views.
I don't know if I believe in
Let's go back to talking about New Zealand slang. I feel like that's more...
New Zealand slang.
No, I was just joking, because I was just like, this is the craziest conversation.
Yeah.
I'm going to get deported.
Oh, is this bad? Is this...
No, I don't know.
Taboo? Yeah. No, but it's interesting. I'm really envious of this island living, you know? I feel like that kind of can keep things pretty chill.
It's all I've known is what you were asking me about, like, what is it like living on an island?
I want to ask you that, but I realize it's not a fair question because it's all you know.
That's all I've known. I guess the things that are different is that everything takes so long to get. Like, if you want to import something, it takes so long.
But isn't that nice that it doesn't take? It's not like you can't get it fucking now.
It is not nice. It's such a.
But you could just chill. Like, let's just let's just fucking walk outside. Let's go on a hike.
I guess
read a fucking book.
But that's such a thing of. Because you guys can get everything instantly.
Yeah.
So, but
I should not be able to get anything instantly. I should not have that ability.
But it takes us so long to get anything, and no musicians or like comedians come over. They come over so rarely, and so it's and everything's so expensive because it has to come on a boat or a plane.
Yeah.
Like if you want to import whatever, it takes so long to get.
What about entertainment options? Is it basically the same? Like you
mean TV and
like
stuff?
Netflix?
Yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
You have all that shit.
Yeah, we got that like last month, so we've had that for a while. You've had it? No, we had it for ages. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, we have like local TV, and we get we get American, British TV.
Yeah,
we think we're pretty good on the.
What about entertainment? Do y'all produce New Zealand based movies that are like good and like we should be checking out? Like any recs from like New Zealand homegrown entertainment?
Yeah, there's
comedians you should recommend for us.
I think some great movies and stuff. The one that I think is. I don't know, my favorite New Zealand movie is What We Do in the Shadows.
What We Do in the Shadows.
Have you seen that?
No.
It's the vampire. It's like vampires, but they're in New Zealand.
Okay.
So it's kind of fun.
Fuck yeah.
Like this.
What's it available on?
I have no idea.
It's
a pretty
Prime. Amazon
it's
Prime.
a pretty big movie. I think they made a spin-off TV series in America about it. Like there's a potentially HBO or something made a TV show.
Yeah.
What We Do in the Shadows. That's pretty cool. I don't know. Yeah. I think. Yeah. New Zealand. One thing that's big about New Zealand is we have a thing called tall poppy syndrome, which is where we like shit on anyone who goes up. We're like, nah.
Oh.
Whereas in America, you guys
interesting.
like,
say that again. Tall poppy syndrome.
Tall poppy syndrome. Yeah. So when
like a poppy plant, when somebody.
Yeah. Someone rises above the pack, we're like, let's fuck that guy up, get him out of there.
Interesting.
And so that means that if there's like local comedians or local musicians or whatever, instantly the general public is just shitting on them and hates them, and who do they think we are? Like, oh, the Americans are way better, like we shouldn't be. New Zealand comedians suck, New Zealand musicians suck, New Zealand TV sucks. There's like this big thing of like shitting on everything New Zealand.
Really?
But then as soon as you go overseas, every New Zealander is like, I love New Zealand.
Yeah.
Not because they realize everything is worse overseas, just because suddenly it's like, oh, my identity is New Zealand. And it's just so funny to see everyone shitting on New Zealand
when they're there, and then when they go,
as soon as they go, they're like, I love New Zealand.
That's our ambassador. That's our representative.
And also
out in the world,
as soon as you go overseas, because you realize being in New Zealand, I'm just another New Zealander. But over here, I'm a New Zealander. People are like, oh, what's that accent?
Yeah.
And so I've been hamming the accent up sometimes. Like if I talk to someone,
I was like, dude, I mean, let's do an interview. I gotta know more.
This is just my accent now.
Yeah.
But like I've had the moment where I've because I've been traveling solo, and so I like say talk to a guy in a bar, and I'll be like, and rather than being like, hey, how's it going? I'll be like, oh, g'day, mate, how's it going? Like throwing a bit of Australian stuff, and he's like, oh, what's that there?
Yeah.
And I really like bring on throw on the Kiwiness more.
Yeah.
I think it makes people more curious and stuff.
For sure.
And I've talked about New Zealand more than I've talked about New Zealand in my entire life while I've been over here.
Fuck yeah. This is great. We love to learn about it.
And I'm happy to talk about it. It's just like it's just an easy conversation thing to be like, oh, here's how New Zealand does stuff.
No, it's very interesting.
I developed like a routine about like people would like I knew every person would start ask the exact same stuff, and so I was ready to go with like my answers and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I really like it. The tall poppy syndrome thing, like cutting down somebody that gets too big. Reminded me of something I wanted to ask you about, because this is a comedian that you love and I love, like as I think our favorite comedian.
Oh, Joe List.
And that's Joe List.
Yeah, my favorite comedian.
Yeah, and I wanted to talk about Joe List a little bit because I fucking love Joe List. He's one of my favorites. Most people that listen to this, I think there's like 100 people that listen on average.
Oh, nice.
100 and may or may not know about Joe List, but like, dude, he's so great. But he kind of strikes me as like in line with that tall poppy thing because like he has not taken off in America like as one of the like rock star comedians. He's very self-deprecating. He's very like
I think he's doing real well.
He's doing super well.
Very successful.
No, he's very successful.
Very successful, amazing comedian.
But he's not like Kevin Hart. You know what I mean? He's not like he doesn't have his own Netflix special. All his last few specials have been self-produced on YouTube. They get
but he's got loads of views and he
does.
And
but even he is insecure about it. I mean, he talks about like how he's not as big as Mark Normand, even though I think he should be bigger than Mark. And
well, I'm not saying anything against Mark, but like
but yeah, how did you find Joe List? Why do you love Joe List? Like,
Joe List is like, I don't know, I love Joe List. He's my favorite comedian, for sure. I think he's I watched his first 2 YouTube specials 30 times each.
Wow.
End to end, no joke.
Yeah.
The point
very good. I hate myself in this year's material.
Yeah,
right?
I started like, and the third one I've watched a bunch of times already, but it's not up to the 30 mark yet. I was obsessively watching it to the point that I was just talking like him in conversation. Even I was like, whoa, I gotta be myself again. Yeah, I find him I think he's really good. He does have that. Yeah, he's more. He has those moments where he's like, what the fuck am I talking about? Like that kind of moment. Mm-hmm. And that's a very Kiwi thing to have as well. It's like
what is that? Kiwi?
Like a New Zealand thing.
What do you mean, Kiwi?
Kiwi. Oh, that's what we call ourselves, Kiwis.
New Zealanders are Kiwis.
Because Kiwi is our national bird, and we're very linked to the Kiwi.
Ah, so you're a bird. Yeah.
But it also is quite a good metaphor, because a Kiwi, because New Zealand has had no indigenous mammals except for this one bat. So we had no creepy crawl, no things running around, like mammals running around. And so this bird, there was no predators. And so this bird, the Kiwi, evolved to not have any wings and be this little fat ball that is so terrible at everything. it has no skills. It's a pointless
It's a humble bird.
It's so humble, but to the point that like this bird, it's just getting like this bird is getting shit on by every introduced animal.
So it has to be protected.
It has to be protected. I think I've seen a Kiwi in the wild once, and that it's not many New Zealanders have seen one. I think even once. They have them in the zoos and stuff, so they're very hard to see. But this shitty ass animal, like we got to be like that animal. We got to be humble like that. That's the New Zealand vibe. We got to be like this Kiwi. Like, don't fly away.
Yeah. Can Kiwis even fly?
They cannot fly.
They cannot fly.
Not at all. They're way too fat to fly.
So how did so did they fly to the island and then just chill out?
Yeah, I guess they evolved to. They had no predators, so they're like, why do we need to fly?
From Australia, from some more mainland continent.
Yeah, or even when we're more connected up and stuff. Yeah.
So there were no mammals in New Zealand.
Yeah, there's one mammal, which is a bat. Which is like that's a technicality. It's a mammal. Right. So it's all birds. There's fun, but there's a bird called a kea. Yeah. Which is like that's like the seedy guys of New York, of New Zealand. It's the kea, because I've heard that it's this really smart bird. It messes with people. Okay. And so there's all these tourist spots in the hills and stuff. If you park there, they will steal like the windscreen wiper, the rubber out of it. They would steal it. They will like.
A bird will?
A bird will. It like just messes with people, and it will like get on the road and like annoy tourists and stuff, and like steal their stuff. Not because it wants to steal it, just because it wants to mess with people and like throw things at people. Yeah. So it's like
That's fascinating. So all other mammals were imported?
Yep.
To New Zealand?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
It's like, what other mammals are there? So are there cows on New Zealand?
Yeah, we love cows.
Yeah.
We don't fuck cows. That's just the sheep. We have a lot of sheep. I think we had 80. At some point we had 4 million people and 80 million sheep.
Okay.
Which means 20 sheep per person.
Wow. So you imported a shit ton of sheep.
Shit ton of sheep. We imported too many sheep. Yeah. And then we got them. I mean, I guess they fucked a lot. And we didn't import all 80 million, but there's a lot of sheep, a lot of cows. Yeah, a lot of horses, I guess. Not nearly as many.
Pets? You got a lot of dogs.
Yeah, people got pets. That's one of the things that was weird to me in America is cats are all inside cats. I never even heard of an inside cat.
Cats are all outside in New Zealand.
Yeah, cats are just cats. They go where they want to go, you know. I guess what you call an
outdoor
outdoor cat.
Are they like stray cats? Or
no, you like own a cat and it generally comes back.
Yeah. What are the homes like in New Zealand? Like, are people living in
apartments?
In apartments or like separate houses like the suburbs in America?
Yeah, we definitely have more apartments coming in and stuff, but
or is it like out on the range? Like, are there like houses way spread out? Like us?
Yeah, it's not the outback. We're not having like all these like everyone has 3 acres and we're just chilling. Nah, it's we have apartments. New Zealanders do not want to go in apartments. It's been a big trend. We've been very anti apartments.
They are very anti-apartments.
Yeah, especially the older generation is very like, that's not the New Zealand way. Like, I want to have my quarter acre and my...
Okay.
I was making fun of
New Zealand.
I realized I was just making fun of you for thinking we all have like a bunch of land and stuff, but then quarter acre is the goal. And, yeah, but more recently, I think people have been realizing you got to have apartments at some point. Like in a big city, you have to have apartments. Right. It's crazy to have houses. Housing is getting so expensive.
Yeah.
In New Zealand, so apartments. I live in an apartment.
Okay.
A lot of my colleagues, like younger colleagues, live in apartments.
I gotcha.
It's pretty common now. Housing is just so expensive.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah. We have, but it's not like New York. This is crazy to me.
Yeah, isn't this insane?
I spent the first 3 hours just like, what the fuck? Yeah. This is so crazy.
Yeah, Kiwi. New Zealanders are Kiwi. So Joe List has kind of got a Kiwi kind of vibe.
I never thought of it, but maybe
a little bit.
Maybe.
On the self-deprecating side of like, oh, I don't know.
That's the big thing is New Zealanders are very self-deprecating, and like a comedy is always self-deprecating in New Zealand, pretty much. Whereas in America, maybe self-deprecating is seen as like, oh man, oh buddy, don't do that.
Yeah.
And like I remember like one time I was in New Zealand and I had it was all American crowd randomly, like 90% American crowd just randomly at some show, and I did some joke where I don't know, made fun of myself or something. And they were all like, "Oh, yeah." And I was like, "No, like, come on, like, that's it's hilarious that Americans don't love to see you shit on yourself. New Zealanders love to see you shit on yourself.
Really? Okay. Good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's kind of this growing sentiment of like this self-esteem kind of movement, like owning who you are, being like, no, don't neg yourself. That's what the Gen Zers say. Yeah. This is Gen Zers. Are you're Gen Z?
I'm Gen Z.
Yeah. Have you heard of the expression "I'm him"?
Yeah.
I hate that expression. There's a guy at a show recently. No, not to shit on this kid, but he was like 19 or something, and he had a lot of confidence when he went on stage. I was like, bro, like you're like that was great. Like you look at you being confident, and then
he said, "I'm him."
But I was expecting him to take the compliment and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, thanks, man.
I'm trying."
But he's like, "Yeah, dude."
Oh my god!
Like,
I hate that. Dude,
I'm him.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay.
Yeah, you would get deported from New Zealand for saying something like that. I
don't know if I'm him.
Yeah, that's banned in New Zealand. You couldn't do that. That's so crazy.
Oh, that's him, dude.
That's part of the New Zealand culture. Is definitely like the.
Yeah, it's maybe polite to be a little bit like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's what we think. That's our idea that New Zealanders are friendly. Is we're so like we're just shitting on ourselves. We don't like confrontation.
Yeah.
So that does happen though as well. That you find the people who are like, yeah, I'm the man.
I mean, it's good to believe that. I guess I don't know.
It probably seems like it's more helpful, but that is so embarrassing to believe that. You should hate yourself constantly. I think that's kind of the people who are the best people hate themselves constantly.
Right. Or they're battling with it, maybe. I don't know. Because at the end of the day, in comedy in general, I struggle with that. Because it's like, just by going on stage, you have a lot of confidence. Be like, oh, what the fuck? Like, you think what you're saying is worthy to be heard by people.
Yeah. Or I would argue I go on stage being like, I hope this is okay.
Right.
Like, I'm not like ever like, this is the stuff.
But just by doing it, you're kind of implying that you feel you're worthy of, being the center of attention for this.
Stand-up
That's why I'm tempted to self-deprecate all the time, because I'm like, dude, I mean, I don't know,
Stand-up is so egotistic. It's so stand-up
it's very ironic.
It's so embarrassing.
What we're doing right now.
This is so embarrassing.
Is like,
I hate this so much. This is so embarrassing.
Me too.
Yeah.
Kind of. But then it's like you're doing it, so like, what the fuck? But like,
I hope no one I know watches this. I hope if anybody watches this, keep this shit to yourself. So embarrassing. This is so embarrassing.
Dude, I know. I feel bad. Like, I don't fucking know.
But it's
that's why this show is named what it's named. You know?
Oh yeah, exactly.
I did this as I kill it because I was so torn about it.
Like, do I kill myself? Do I start a podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess doing a podcast is marginally better than killing yourself. Yeah. A little bit, maybe.
No, not really.
No, but I also think there's a thing of like, it's no fun to watch someone who is embarrassed to be doing what they're doing though as well. There is that element of like, if you watch a comedian and they're like, oh, this guy hates this act. Unless, like, maybe that's the thing you're going for, but in general, that is not. So the people you like to watch are really like confident about it.
That's why.
But when you got to do it, you're like, oh, I got to be like this cocky.
Yeah.
So embarrassing.
You don't have to be cocky. I feel like enthusiasm is a way to like get over some of this. Like
Sure.
you're happy to be doing it. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's not as cringy of like.
What an honor to be here. Yeah, that kind of vibe, rather than like I should be.
Be like,
here.
I'm happy to be talking to you, these humans.
Like, thanks.
Like, this isn't about me,
True,
it's about we're having fun.
Yeah.
That makes me not want to kill myself.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I hope this episode is your lowest rate, and no one watches it. It'll be so good.
I don't know.
I hope
It'll be good. We got a Kiwi on.
A Kiwi on. Oh,
yeah,
God.
this is a rare
No
bird
one
over
watched
here.
it. Oh God.
Yeah.
So embarrassing.
But there's always that irony of like it's like, you know, I don't know, like you're seeking attention, but you're also
it's very uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It's very uncomfortable, and that's the thing about stand up is you want to do it, but also you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You got to put yourself. That's why I don't do. I notice all you guys have social media and you like post clips and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I cannot.
I don't post clips of my own stand up as frequently. I started to post a couple.
I'm not shitting anyone who does. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like you do you.
Right.
I cannot. I'm just too embarrassed to do it. Which is like why I probably shouldn't be embarrassed of the thing I do.
Yeah.
But I am.
There's nothing I dread more than posting my own stand up. Posting podcast clips I cringe at too, but at least there's another person in it, and at least
so you're sharing the. So I'm
and I can always say I'm helping.
Yeah.
Exposure for the guest.
It's
not about me.
You will go to tag me. I will decline the tag request.
You would? You cannot decline the tag request, Chester. You have to.
But my Instagram is private, and I never I don't let people follow me.
Chester,
I hate it.
You got to get out of your Kiwi bubble.
Yeah, I just can't handle it.
You have to share it.
I have a private Instagram. No one follows me. That's the way I like it.
Okay.
I mean, you can tag me and stuff, but like. It's still gonna be a private account though, but you can tag the private, and they'll be like, "Look at this guy's personal account."
Yeah,
I have like 3 posts, and they're like, one is like one time I had to make my account public I was doing a comedy festival show, and I was like, I guess I have to publicize this thing.
Yeah,
so I did that, and then one time is like a photo in high school of me playing sport, and then one photo was like a photo of me walking up some stairs. I don't know why I posted that one, but I did. Maybe my ass looked good. I don't know what it was. Yeah, and that's all I have on. I don't really use.
Good for you.
You're
a good fucking person.
No, not at all. I think you're the one who has the balls to actually do it. But I noticed all the comedians on that show, every single one of them had an Instagram page where they were posting stuff, and that feels like what you have to do here.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's the thing that scares me.
It's part of it. I honestly, I'm still forming my opinion, I guess, of what it feels like here. But I feel like it's almost more for the other comics than it is for any normal person that's following you.
That's the vibe I got, is
because it's like to network and get booked on shows, but it's like we're all getting, I mean, I'm not getting booked that much. I don't know that many people yet, but you're getting booked on their shows. I don't.
It feels like
I don't know what else is happening.
Like at the low level of comedy,
mm-hmm.
you're just trying to make sure you don't care about I don't think you should care about fans and stuff. You're caring about like making other comedians like you, and they book you, and you're trying to just work your way up through knowing people, and you run a show, they run a show. That's the vibe early in stand up, right? Mm-hmm. And it seems like so I was like, so I'm not going to do any social media for a while until I get good. Yeah. And then. But over here, it seems like you have to post the clips to prove to the other comedians that you're a real comedian. Yeah. You take it seriously. Otherwise, it's seen as like, this guy doesn't take it seriously.
Right. It's credibility. You just fucking do it. It's part of the job.
Yeah. And
job.
And it's like we were talking about like, the comedians who like don't want to socialize. Were like, I don't want to like network. I just want to like get it on my abilities. Yeah. And that's a dumb opinion. Yeah. So maybe I don't want to do social media. Maybe that's also an equally dumb opinion.
Yeah. I think it's healthy to have that hesitation. Maybe it's good. Yeah, it's good to be like, I don't post that, but at the end of the day, you got to be like, fuck it. I mean, I started posting more of my stand up since I moved here, because I was like, I gotta have something of my own stand up.
And I think there's
I just but like every time I post like your own stand up, I'm like, fuck. And then I like shut my phone off and put it away. Yeah. And then I'm just thinking, and then like a couple hours later, I'll check it. I hope it gets likes or a lot of likes.
Because are you hoping that it gets a bunch of views that goes on the algorithm stuff, or are you just like it just has to be there for the?
Well, I post my own stand up rarely, so because I heard that advice of like don't post anything until you're at least 3 years in. So I just passed 3 years, so I was like, my
3 years
better.
I heard someone told me 10 years, but maybe it's 3 years.
10 years. We'll be dead in 10. I heard Taylor Tomlinson say 3 years. Don't post things before 3 because it's not as good as you think it is, and but whatever. So I was like, I'm here.
Yeah,
I gotta try. So I'll pick one, and I'm like, I hear laughs. There are laughs in this.
Yeah,
I have a hard time analyzing my own
right.
actual material, but
yeah, I always listen to my sets, but I found it like in America to get booked, I had to send my clip around to a bunch of people. Even that I didn't like sharing. I was like, oh really?
Yeah.
So I had to get like my 5-minute clip or 10-minute clip or whatever and send that to bookers and stuff, and I was like, that's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Even that.
Right.
So
for sure,
putting it publicly for everyone to see is. Whew.
Yeah.
But then it's I perform it.
Right.
To crowd so.
Right. What's the difference of putting it on a
And
video?
what's the difference of putting it? Oh, this is me
Yeah.
having a good set.
Yeah.
I do bad sets all the time,
Dude. It's so refreshing to me that you have this hesitancy because I feel like I don't know.
Do people not?
Because I feel it. Well, I don't know how many comics would own up to it. I think they would if you got them in a one-on-one conversation.
I think they all are embarrassed to do it.
Maybe. I feel like some aren't.
Some aren't. Maybe
some are just like, fuck it, dude. I'm him, dude.
Some are like, hell yeah.
Check it out. Suck my dick, bro.
Yeah, I guess so.
But if it's good objectively, then
Yeah, but the whole thing is that even if you're 3 years in, when you're 10 years in, you'll look back at 3 years and be like, wow, that was horrific.
Maybe.
And maybe that's just how it goes, and who cares? And you would have deleted the video would have. It doesn't so long. People obviously know that it's from so long ago.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
that's the scary thing is you'll look back and be like, ugh. But then if you look back and ugh, then the 10-year comics are looking at it being like, ugh. It feels right.
I guess I like to believe that there are some jokes that are like objectively pretty good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
yeah.
It's it can only get so. I mean, what is a joke?
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
I've watched your clips.
I like to go back.
I've watched your clips and they're objectively bad. No, I haven't seen the clips. I haven't seen the clips. I haven't seen any of your clips. I'll watch them. I'll watch them.
Don't watch them. Nobody watch them. Nobody watch this. Every fucking. God damn it. This is the thing.
I'm spreading my negativity throughout America. Spreading my hesitancy and negativity.
Get the fuck out of here, bro.
But I think I'm wrong. I think I'm an asshole and I'm wrong. I think this is the Kiwi thing of like, this is the polite way to do it.
Yeah.
It's not actually nice. This is the stupid.
Yeah.
It's like almost self-absorbed to be this embarrassed,
Yeah. I don't know.
Just be like, doesn't matter. Just
right. Just don't overthink it.
Yeah,
maybe.
Just do it.
But I kind of feel like eventually you get to a place where like you can recognize what's pretty good. But that's the eternal battle. I feel like a lot of comics have imposter syndrome. Like, am I good? Am I a real comedian? Is that actually funny or is it not? I don't know. Like,
but anytime you go up and down through like liking your act, hating your act, liking your act, right?
Yeah.
But it's like you hope that
that it's like
you
going
get better
up.
and better. But
in the aggregate, it's getting better.
Yeah.
Even though you have these peaks and valleys in a day-to-day.
Well, I think when you hate your act, that's a time that you're like, oh, it means that you're moving on, but you haven't got your act to move on yet.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, maybe.
Yeah.
And
I have that all the time.
I think that's why it's be weird to post something because I know that in 6 months I'll be like, cringe, disgusting.
Yeah.
Who do I think I am?
Right.
What a terrible joke.
Yeah.
But maybe that's who cares.
Yeah. It's hard to evaluate yourself. It's hard to.
I hate people I know coming to shows, which is why it sucks to do it in New Zealand.
Yeah, me too. Yeah,
that's the nice thing that'll be about if you were here is like you don't know anybody.
Yeah, but no audience members are at shows unless.
Yeah, it's the New York thing.
Very small audiences unless you get into the clubs.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But it is nice. I mean, dude, even that audience on Sunday night, I was like, fuck, dude, there's humans? This is amazing.
Right. Which
is amazing.
Yeah, whereas numbers-wise, that was just like a pretty...
Small show for
New Zealand.
Absolutely. It was a small show for South Carolina, where I came from. I was like, yeah.
So South Carolina was the same thing. You would get like big crowds.
Yeah, decent. I mean, dude.
Like how much were you gigging in?
Well, okay, so our rotation... It's so bad that I'm this nostalgic for it, but like it's true. Like that's why comedy's fucking fun. Is the audience?
Yeah.
You forget that when you're in this slog of just trenches. They call it. These trenches. But so on a Monday, Coffee Underground. There's a fucking great. A lot of people that listen still go. So it was like a little theater, and we'd have like 10 would probably be kind of bad.
Right. Okay.
10 audience members, and then you could get like up to 20 and.
Yeah.
Small theater, all the attention's on the stage, no distractions. Tuesday, 15 to 20. Wednesday, this was in downtown Asheville, North Carolina, and it's a tourist destination with like a lot of walking traffic.
Right.
Free open mic, and there'd be like 40 people.
Right.
Just in the crowd, and then on Thursday there would be at our comedy club there'd be like 20 people, 20 to 40. 40 would be a great night. 20 would be a little light. 12 would be pretty bad, but still fine.
Yeah.
And like 12 would be bad, which was like our show. We had probably less than that. How many people were even there on Sunday?
Like 14 to 18 people.
14 to 18 people. But that includes, comics and stuff.
I think there was about that many real people. Maybe I don't know. I don't know who comics are here. So
yeah,
but yeah.
So like we had that 5 nights a week, 4 or 5 nights a week.
And you get to do them every night, kind of thing, or
yeah,
you were
once every week. Like we were doing that every week for like 2 years, 3 years. Yeah, it was fucking awesome. We didn't even know how good we had it. It's crazy.
Yeah, I almost think we have it even better in New Zealand.
Yeah, tell me about New Zealand clubs. Like,
well, because like this one club, the classic, which is just like. Yeah, I've realized how lucky we have it. It's
how many nights a week could you perform at that comedy club, or can you perform at that?
Well,
you haven't moved here. You're just visiting. You'll be going back to this better situation.
Yeah. So
fucking week.
So the club has like I guess it must have 6 shows a week. Where it has like 2 Friday, 2 Saturday, Wednesday, Thursday, maybe, but yeah.
And are there touring headliners that are coming through this club, or is it just like the
Not really, I don't think.
Resident New Zealand comedians that perform there regularly?
Yeah, there's enough comedians to go through. Yeah, so like I think you could feasibly be there. I mean, most people, maybe you're there like once a week kind of thing on one of the nights a week, maybe or about that a bit more.
How many spots are you getting?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe once a week on average. But if that's probably more than 50 a year, maybe. I don't know how many. But yeah, we have runs where you have like 6 shows in a week.
Okay.
And you maybe like have none the next week, and then you have like 3 the next week, and then 1.
And how many people are at this comedy club each show?
Well, it seats like 110, I think.
Okay.
And certain shows are always sold out. Certain shows are half sold out.
Okay.
It's very rare to have a super small crowd.
Yeah. That's like our comedy club. It's sat like 100 to 200.
Yeah.
100 to 150 maybe.
Yeah.
But the amateur night, where the local comics perform, there'd probably be like just the front section. So like, but yeah. So that was where so once a week at that club.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure on that. Yeah, but say once a week at that club, and then you have like, we run a show on a Tuesday, and that gets, we were sometimes getting 50 people.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then there's all sorts of other shows all the time. So you get up easily. I don't know, maybe you get up 3-4 times a week, and there's pretty much always a crowd. Yeah.
Wow. No less than 50 people each time.
Oh no. There's definitely shows less. Like on the other, we definitely have less people sometimes.
Sure,
I've done the 2 people, the 4 people, the 6 people, but
I gotcha.
It seems like here, like you do your mics and there's no one there.
No one.
That's the whole point of it. There's no one there. There never is going to be anyone here.
Yeah.
We haven't told any real humans about this gig.
Suck it up and write jokes that make the comics laugh. I don't know.
Yeah, but it seems like it's like the mics are like we haven't even tried to get people here. A lot of them.
Yeah.
It's like it's not even publicly posted anywhere.
Right.
It's like
we don't want audience here.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like.
Yeah.
But I don't really.
Why not? Yeah.
Why would you not? I get it, a gig's a gig, do whatever. But
in your opinion, how beneficial are those mics?
I just don't know. I mean, I guess you got to do it. Like everyone did them, right?
Everyone does them.
At some point, Joe List was doing these. I guess he was from Boston doing.
Yeah, I wonder. I kind of wonder because he came up in Boston. I wonder if it's a little different there. I don't know.
But when he came over, I wonder. Yeah, I don't know yet. So I wonder if the move is to try and get or write somewhere else and then come over here.
Yeah.
Because it seems like really rough way to get good. Because in New Zealand, there are gigs, I guess, that there's like no people, and I wouldn't do those gigs.
Right. That's how South Carolina was. We would be kind of selective. We wouldn't go to mics where there's no people.
Yeah.
Like, why the fuck would I do that?
Yeah. And
when there's mics with people that I could go to.
Exactly.
Given the choice, I would always take the mic with audience.
And also it felt like you were learning bad habits.
Yeah.
You were learning how to like play to the back of the room.
Yeah, how to not give a shit too much.
Yeah. And
you should care if there's people.
Well, and also I think it's the thing of like making comics laugh is different to making people laugh. And so you can make the comics laugh in stupid ways that if you had a real audience, they'd be like, what the fuck is this guy doing? This sucks.
Yeah.
But I don't know, but New York does it like this, and New York produces the best comedians in the world. So
yeah, maybe.
Who am I to say it's wrong? And I'm not saying it's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I don't know. I think it's fine. I mean, I'm being a little negative too because there are shows that like get people. The book shows do get people. like get audience.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're reminded of that, and you kind of appreciate it through the shittiness of doing all the mics. And I guess the benefit of having all these mics that have no stakes because there's no people there is that you can develop material without having it be like, you know, a big deal if it bombs. You know what I mean? Because like, there's no, who gives a fuck if the comics see you bomb? You know. And you can do so many of them. You can try out the same idea like 10 times in a day, and then have it be fully formed into something. But of course, is the read you're getting on what you're doing any good? So you don't know. The read might be bad. But
no, but maybe that's the way you got to do it. Yeah, I don't know anything. Yeah,
because like the quantity is less, right? In New Zealand, there's fewer mics. Yeah, 4 or 5 a week is fewer than. Yeah. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just fucking talking.
Neither. I hate giving advice because like.
Yeah. No, I
follow my advice. You might be as bad as me. You know.
You're great, dude. No, I mean, when neither of us saw each other's material, that first show was straight improv. So it was just like we're just fucking around. But,
yeah. I don't know.
It was still fun though. I liked improving on stage. That was
a fun show. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you like the structure? Improving?
Yeah, it's fun.
You do a lot of improv and
no.
Just riffing off of random words that you know have no idea in advance.
Oh, I've never done a show exactly like that. Although those shows do exist in New Zealand.
Okay. It was kind of freeing to me. I was like,
yeah.
Like if this bombs, it's not my material that's bombing. It's my random thought about this idea.
Feels less embarrassing, yeah. Because if your material bombs, you're like, well, I guess.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time working on that shit.
Yeah. It was fun. Yeah, I also think it was easier for me than for you guys.
Yeah.
Because I had the New Zealand thing, which makes it. I was just doing everything from New Zealand perspective.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, everything was like a novelty. Yeah. We were just from a personal experience, which is a novelty. Yeah.
So it means you guys have to just talk about that topic, and I can be like, what the hell is this?
Yeah. What's the deal with this? But yeah. Anyway, New Zealand. Yeah, I'd like to go. I'd like to visit.
Yeah, come by.
Yeah,
of course.
I'm trying to think of what else. We've covered a lot. Why did you start stand-up? You got that contest.
Yeah, but I wanted to do stand-up before that. I wanted to do stand-up because I remember I was watching. It's such a lame reason, but I think I was watching like it was like a British comedy show. And I remember thinking like, damn, that'd be the coolest job to have. Yeah. And I kept thinking that'd be the cool. And I was like, oh, I should try and do that. Yeah. That could be a cool job. And then that's why I did it. Yeah. There's no like
so
big.
You want it to be your job.
Yeah, there's no like big like I got molested and I was like I'm gonna bring funniness to the world or something. That didn't happen.
Yeah, you don't have any like trauma and shit.
No, I wasn't based on that. I was just like that'll be
that feels like a thing here.
Rather than work in the office, I should.
Yeah,
the job where you just get to chill out and
right.
Yeah.
I kind of appreciate that the chill nature of it because it feels like here there's like the trope of like I had some trauma in my past that made me have to do this or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, it's weird that like you had some trauma and then you wanted to get in front of more people. That feels counterintuitive, but it's true. I'm like,
I think it could be
pattern.
true.
No, that's the pattern that goes ahead. Yeah. So but it's
I mean, fuck, I've used it personally. Like it's like you need love and validation, so you seek it from strangers, and that's why.
Yeah,
because you weren't loved enough as a kid by your parents or some shit.
Yeah, or like that's why people do it. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
you're trying to fill a void, this unfillable void with like the laughter of strangers.
Yeah, I just think it's fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Fun time.
It is fun, and it is pure. Like, dude, yeah. Honestly, being reminded of like how fun stand-up is with an actual audience is like.
Because you must get that in New York to just do like 20 gigs in a row. There's no one there. And you're like, oh my god,
fucking weighs on you, dude. It's not good.
Damn. Good. So you've been here 3 months or something, you said.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not a long time.
No.
And and how many gigs do you do in a week here?
How many like booked gigs?
Just
or like
everything.
Everything? Oh, I don't know. I did like 12 mics last week, I think. 12. But some do more. I mean, some comics are doing like 5 mics a day.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're doing a lot more. But it's part of it's just like you putting in the reps. It's just part of it. You just
right.
Taking your lunch pail into the thing and just checking the box kind of. It's just what comics do. But
and then your goal is to get passed at clubs and stuff
I suppose.
eventually.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
So how do you like send videos to them?
You can,
but
yeah.
it's kind of point. I probably never watched them.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff like there's this thing I found out about last night called the Comedy Mob, where it's like this group and they do like 3 shows throughout, I think in a given week, and you sign up for the show, and it's like you have to bring one person, so there's like an audience there.
Yeah.
But it's not like a bringer where you got to bring 6 or whatever, and they do it at real comedy clubs, and there's an audience. And
oh right,
yeah. Although I went to one of the things last night, and the mic wasn't that good. The quality was But part of it, I don't want to hate on it, but part of it felt like the comics weren't excited to be there. You know what I mean? It was like they had the same energy as an open mic, but I was like, there's people there. I was like, dude, there's fucking people. Like,
that can be a bad habit.
Be happy.
I reckon. Yeah,
be happy.
You like are just depressed.
Be joyful on stage.
Yeah.
Like that goes a long way, I think. You know, being happy. But yeah. Anyway, apparently that thing has like a way to like develop, and then you can get spots at those comedy clubs. On real shows. Right. And the guy I was talking to said there's like they hand out like guest spots or check spots, which you go up when the checks go out. Yep. Or like, I don't know, one other thing he said. But yeah, so there's a path, I guess, with something like that. And then, down at McDougal Street where you went to the Grizzly Pear and you said what was it?
Yeah. Well, I just never had been to a New York mic, and I was like, oh, it's like this. Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty alarming.
Yeah, you said it was fucking depressing, right?
Yeah, it seemed pretty depressing, yeah. Not against the comics, it was just like the fact we had to do that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I laughed really hard when he said that. But apparently, yeah, you can go down there and like, you hang out there long enough, you can bark for shows, get asked to do. You're handing out tickets for, shows at the Grizzly Pear or the Greenwich or Comedy Shop or whatever.
Yeah,
so
that feels kind of classic. Like
people do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you gotta suck it up and just show up to all those mics.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. Yeah, since I'm here for a week, I was like, I'm not going to mics. It feels like a way to ruin my holiday.
Yeah, you need to ruin your time here. Yeah. Like, so you're going to a show tonight? What show are you going to tonight?
I'm gonna go watch the show The Stand.
The Stand. Hell yeah. Do you know who's on it?
Yeah, Joe
List?
Yeah, is on.
Dude, I'm so fucking jealous.
Yeah.
Are there tickets still?
I don't know. Check it out. Yeah, see
this. Maybe I'll check.
Yeah, it's Joe List, Ari, and Mark.
Oh fuck, dude, that's gonna be so fun.
Yeah.
You have to message me. Let me know how it is.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be cool. I'm excited to see it. And I'll go to like. Yeah, I'm just gonna go watch.
Is this I can't remember if I asked you the other night. Have you seen Joe List live before? Or
Never. This will be my first time.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Dude, this is gonna be great.
So I'm gonna have to try to get him a few times more.
Yeah.
I really wanted to watch him at the Cellar, but then on the podcast he's like, I haven't really got any Cellar spots recently. I'm like, fuck.
He hasn't gotten any Cellar spots recently?
Well, whatever he means by that, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure he could get a spot if he asked. He's probably just...
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, wanting to see him at the Cellar. That feels so cool to see Joe List at the Cellar.
Yeah.
But still, Joe List at the Stand is pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, I think I mentioned this the other night, but I was so obsessed with Joe List that in 2021, I bought tickets to his special recording and flew up here just to watch him at the Cellar. Recorded this year's material.
Well, I'm watching Sarah's special taping tomorrow.
Oh, you are?
Exciting. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah,
she's great as well.
I'm traveling for work tomorrow. Otherwise, I would. That's at Grove. Is it at Grove 34? 34,
yeah.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. I think he.
That's super near here, right?
What's that?
That's super near here.
It's nearby here. Cool. Yeah. It's cool to see the big names go through Grove 34. I think Shane Gillis performed there. Mark Norman will do a night there. Joe will do nights there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went out of my way to fly up, got a picture with him, and dude, that was honestly, because I remember that week I had planned on going to Gotham, kind of like what you're doing, at Gotham and like New York Comedy Club and the Cellar, and I went to the Cellar several times and watched the comics do their like 15-minute sets or whatever.
Yeah,
and Joe List's hour was easily the highlight of the whole week. Yeah, it was like there was like all of the resident comics working on it, they're just doing their shit, and then Joe List special was like,
of course, it's like his crafted hour.
Yeah, he's one of the few comics that are like, when I watch him, I'm like, dude, I just look forward to everything he does. So, I can enjoy others, but
Yeah, this is just. I'm assuming they're just doing like 15-minute spots here, which would be cool to see. Yeah,
but still, it'll be great because you've seen all of his shit and
yeah,
can see what he's working on.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, man, I'm jealous. Fuck. Yeah. I want to go out of my way to see Joe here. But
have you not seen him since then?
No, not live. No, selfishly I want to run into him. Apparently, he lives here in Queens somewhere. So
yeah. That feels like another level to just like stalk the neighborhood.
I know. It's got to happen organically, but I like have this fantasy in my mind of like running into Joe and be like, "Hey, dude!" Like,
well, if you like, I mean, I guess because he has, okay, this is getting too creepy. Yeah, but yeah, I'm sure he must be around. You must bang into him. Mm-hmm. You'll bang into him eventually. Yeah, the closest thing is you see his openers. Like you see, right. I don't know if you know Steve Rogers. Yeah. Yeah, he goes to QED. The mics, you see him around. Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Just at the mics, and at the mics. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the shit mics. Yeah, I see him there. And you run into I've seen like guests that Joe has had on Mindful Metal Jacket just out and about. So there's like some connection between like the stratosphere and like where we are. So like you're like, well, there's like little glimpses here and there, you know. And I'm sure it'll get better. That's so depressing that someone like him was doing the mics. Yeah. I guess that's you gotta keep gotta stay sharp. That's what people. Oh no, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. And keep that thick skin, I guess, of just like not giving a fuck of how anything goes. But anyway, man. Well, dude, we can go for like an hour and a half. I think that's about. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, you said you don't like shouting out social media, but do you have anything you want to like direct people to, or like? Nope. No. I'm putting your Instagram. Fuck it. Do you have a YouTube channel or? Nope. No. I don't have anything. Nah. So just Instagram. You have an Instagram. I have an Instagram. That's private. Yeah, but you can. Yeah. No. Do you have any clips on there? Nope. No. Do you have a TikTok? Nope. I don't even have an account. Don't have the app. Never been on the app. Okay. But I mean, I have shows in New Zealand, but like, there's no one we watch in New Zealand. So. Okay. So you're just doing this this is great. You're not even doing this for. Do you know why I'm doing this? Do you know why I'm doing this? Instead of killing yourself. No. Maybe, but no. But it's just because it seems like a New York thing to do. Do a podcast in New York. This is purely I'm just doing this as a tourist. This is my tourism. I'm like, go to Times Square. Fuck that. I'm doing a podcast in New York. There's no other reason. It's just for like. Yeah. Boredom. It's almost like experience. Like I should pay like $5 for being on the podcast just to be like, oh yeah, that's cool. I'm gonna start charging people that come on here. Just a New York experience. This should be a tourist attraction. I feel like I should be paying people to be on. I don't know if people even do that. People pay to be on. I know like Ari Shafir he makes a point of paying. He would pay his guests. It's like a big thing he would do during the episodes, yeah. But I mean, if you're not making any, no, please don't pay me. You're not making any money in the. I don't have any money. I assume you're not making any money off the. No, I haven't made anything. Yeah, I haven't tried though. I don't know. Right. I don't know what it takes. Like this has like I don't know. People listen. Where are they people from your home? People from the Carolinas and people that like. That's why it became like something. I don't know. Hey Carolinas. Hello Carolinas people. Yeah, I think it just became a way to like. I don't know. Yeah. It kind of helped. I have no idea. I feel like a douchebag speculating on this. I don't know. But it felt like you could kind of get to know, because eventually you run out of people in the city that we're in. So then I would just start asking people in Asheville, like, hey, do you want to do an interview? Or like Columbia. Right. So it'd be like, oh, just mutual friends of friends, that person. Like, oh, maybe I'll listen to that for, Right. And then it kind of like helped, connect people a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I have no idea. I don't even claim that, but like. It's just interesting that like, it's like I don't know why people would listen otherwise, aside from knowing the people that. Yeah. I felt like this was not like I would not listen to my own the things I've said today. This is crazy. But if you want to learn about New Zealand, I think it's something. Yeah, if you want to vaguely learn about New Zealand through a very minor perspective, yeah, I guess. Right. There's that Kiwi self-deprecation, dude. There are better ways to learn about New Zealand. you can just look up New Zealand on Wikipedia, read that. That's probably more interesting. Yes, but that's not a real human, Yeah, that's probably more interesting still. I don't know. Probably. But it almost feels like the thing of like. the low level comedy where you start a show, someone starts a show, and you do each other's shows and stuff. It's like you start a podcast and you do each other's podcasts. You practice doing podcasts.
Everybody's doing each other's podcasts. Yeah.
Open mic podcasts.
Open mic podcasts. Yeah, they're stereotypically fucking horrible. Horrible. They're fucking dog shit. Yeah. I don't know. There is a part of me too that's always like shocked when anybody's listening like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool though.
But every Monday you post. It's been consistent. That's the one thing it has been. Every Monday for 2 years you post it.
You just have to start stuff. Like I'm being an asshole and just shitting on everything, but like
no,
you got to do it. Maybe
you're hitting on something very real. You know.
You just got to do it.
But like every time I'm like, holy shit! Like I see views on it. I'm like, oh my god.
So where do you post this?
It's on YouTube.
On YouTube.
And all different. There's a thing called Anchor.
Right.
You can
Anchor
upload
FM,
it.
I think I've seen.
You heard of that? Yeah, it'll put it out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all the other ones.
Right.
So like you can find it anywhere.
Yeah.
But it doesn't like blow up. It's just like whoever's listening, whoever the
Yeah. I'm gonna issue a takedown request on this.
I'm so grateful to whoever listens regularly. There are some people that listen like as a part of like, oh, there's an episode on Monday. I'll just think,
yeah.
But I don't know.
That's cool.
I don't know who it is. I don't even know how to like talk to them.
Oh, because you don't know who they are. Yeah, they're just downloading.
I guess there's ways you're supposed to like
track
engage
people,
with
analytics.
your followers.
Yeah.
And like ask them, what would you like to see more of or whatever. Or, like, I don't know. Are you supposed to do that?
I guess so. Yeah. Do you have like an Instagram page for?
Yeah, there's an Instagram page.
Oh, okay.
And there's a clip. I'll do a clip every week of like one clip every week of like something
the best
funny
moment of the podcast.
So hopefully there's something worth clipping on this.
Yeah.
I think there probably is.
No. Don't clip this. Just don't clip this moment. No, I'd say that. I feel like I'm gonna clip this. Don't clip this moment.
Okay. I won't.
Okay, this has been cool.
Anyway. No. Yeah, man. Yeah, thanks for coming on, dude.
No, it's been fun. I'm shitting on you. This is fun. This is fun. This
fun.
is cool.
This is
real. It feels New York. This feels cool.
All right, let's
I like
delete
it.
this right now.
Please. No, this is cool. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Follow
very much.
Chester. Yeah, we'll shake it. Yeah. Follow Chester even though he doesn't want you to. I'm going to put his private Instagram on here.
Yeah.
So when you do become a professional comic, there's some paper trail. There's some way
There's
to
a
like.
paper trail? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because this will be on the internet forever. So like, what's your real name?
Yeah, that's a scary thing. True.
So maybe
we should
that's like what the strategy is. I just have as many people on as possible, and then like when one of them blows up,
repost that episode
out of 100.
Mm-mm.
Well, because things could get discovered on YouTube years later.
Yeah. Oh, but what I mean is
Like, let's say somebody gets ultra famous on this, and then they go back and, oh my god, Chester did this podcast
before he was called
who's that
David
jackass hosting
David Johnson or whatever when I
yeah
developed that. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna after this come up with a better name for myself. I think
What's your last name again?
Jerrat.
Chester Jerrat.
Yeah.
CG.
CJ.
Oh, J.
J. Yeah.
CJ. It's pretty good.
I like CJ.
Yeah.
I can find.
CJ.
I think something.
All right. All right.
Oh,
Well,
it's been fun. Thank you,
yeah,
sir.
it's been real. Thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for listening, everybody. All right. See ya.
Once that deal is done, ain't got no more boats to run. Once that deal is done, ain't got no more.